Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Chasing Wisdom. I'm Ashton, and today I'm going to be talking about a book that I didn't know what to expect going into, but I was blown away by, and it's Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. My girlfriend got this book for Christmas and she read it, and it has impacted her life so much. She was raving about it, and I decided to check it out for myself because I'm interested to see what the book is offering and what I can learn from it, and maybe some messages that I have talked to my girlfriend about before that really connected with her through Rachel's writing and why that connected with her. It's about 20 chapters, it's like 210 pages. What I really love about this book is it's a very easy read, it's funny, it draws you into like a conversation almost, she's talking to you. The book is about lies she has told herself, and it's kind of I would equate it to almost like the 12 Meanings of Life Jordan Peterson made, that impacted a lot of men because he's aiming towards men. Girl Wash Your Face is aiming towards women, although men can benefit from this immensely. And she talks about basically how women can help change their lives in a positive way, or maybe even go about lives with a new type of mindset. This book, again, I was pleasantly surprised by. I had no idea what the writing style was going to be like, and I loved it. Some of my favorite chapters she talked about was like, I'm bad at sex, or diversity of exposure to our children, to different types of things such as like different races, disabilities, and making it kind of a normal experience to where when they come out into life, don't necessarily look at it as something different. They're normal, they're used to it, right? They've been exposed, they've seen it, they don't look at it any differently. Also stuff like trauma she's gone through. And she's very honest, which I love, and I feel like not enough people do this because they're, afraid of really putting themselves out there. And there's just so much we can learn from each other if we would just throw ourselves out there more. And I get it, it's a scary world out there, especially with social media now. I honestly don't use social media myself. Not for that fear, just because of other aspects I don't like about social media. But here I am now, right? This book, though, I think is a must-read, especially for women and for guys as well. I believe she's a Christian writer. She's got her own blog called The Chic Site, and I'll put in the link below. And some of her other books. She's written a couple other books, and she's got another one that I'm going to check out that's coming up in March called Girl, Stop Apologizing. Women, this book, seriously, read this. Guys, read it too, because it gives you a great perspective of what's going on inside of a woman's mind that we may not necessarily be able to peek into as well, reading from other books or even just being around a bunch of women. She really puts the mindset of what it's like to be a girl in these situations out there and makes it very easy to relate to. She really talks about, like, she was bad at sex was one of her lies, which I loved, because even though she's like, I'm a Christian, but I'm going to talk about this, even though it's looked down upon. And I love that. I love when people do stuff like that, because it really shows that they're not afraid of being honest and being themselves, but also there is a gap to be filled in that area, because not too many people are willing to talk about this stuff. I talked about earlier in another book review I do, how parents are afraid to talk to their kids about sex, and they leave it to the school system. I love that she did this, because it really shows that it's okay to talk about this stuff. There's another section of the book where she talks about, parenting and exposing her kids to like needy children, disabled children, different races, because she wants her kids to look at everyone the same, and I love that. I wish more people did stuff like that. One of my favorite sections of the book, though, was when she talked about her relationship with her husband, who at the beginning, they didn't necessarily have a great relationship. And she's very honest about it. And for guys, I think it's important to read that, because we don't realize some of the harms we may do to our girlfriends, our loved ones. And she really puts it out there, and it really humbled me. It made me look back at my own relationships, and maybe really re-examine how I act. And I just love being able to get a new, fresh perspective that she's able to offer. Other things she talks about too is, like, later on you can kind of see her husband's growth throughout the chapters, even though she doesn't necessarily highlight it. If you're watching the chapters, or reading the chapters is what I should say, she talks about how her husband's doing amazing things now. He's grown so much, and you kind of feel like you're a part of that growth with her and him. and you see he's able to step up to the plate, and he's able to do so much for her that at the beginning maybe she didn't get enough of, or at the beginning she was missing or felt she was missing. And I just really love that, because it is a very humbling experience for a guy to really see the inside of a woman's perspective of the relationship. And she doesn't necessarily badmouth her husband either, I'm not saying that. It's just that she talks about stuff that happened before that really had hurt her or had caused her to look at herself differently. And she's grown since then, and he's grown since then, and it's really amazing. You feel like you're a part of this journey. I feel like it's a must-read for everyone. And even as a non-believer, I think she's kind of a religious writer, and I loved about the book is it wasn't so much about that. You know, she talks about her own aspects of her belief and how it helped her. And another great thing about this book too is in the book, towards the end of the chapter, she talks about ways that you can go about improving these aspects, these lies, like whether it's struggling to lose weight. She talks about how she struggled to lose weight and what helped her, and cites, and she gives references, and she gives a little list of stuff, and it's amazing. Girls, especially in a world where there's not a lot of girl role models out there, and it's not because there's not great role models to be looking after, it's just because unfortunately most of these girl role models are either super busy, or maybe they're afraid of the backlash or not being taken seriously, which is really unfortunate. I love this book. I highly recommend you check it out, regardless, man, girl, believer, non-believer. It's excellent. I'm going to check out her other book and do a review on it too. Anyway, I just want to say thanks again for choosing my channel. I know there's so many channels out there to choose from, and I'm really grateful you're supporting mine, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks.